I oftentimes am told this is going to be the turnout. This is the expected turnout. I challenge that number a lot. I look at it, when I ran Oregon in 2004 for the presidential. And when I arrived, they told me that turnout was going to be 92%. And I said, yeah, no. You got to be crazy. No, that's not right. We'll never hit 92%. They said, oh yeah. After being there a month, I actually went back to them and said, you're wrong. It's going to be higher. And they said, no. I said, no. It's going to be higher. We need to raise turnout. Now, my staff was losing it. Because I'm like, they had this goal. They had this number that they had to achieve. And all of a sudden I'm saying, it's going to be bigger. You need more. And they're like, and the people in D.C. were like, no. There's no way it's going to be higher than 92. We have this number. We know it's right. I said, no, you're wrong. We're going to raise it. Here's why we're going to raise it. And I started showing them, and we raised it. And about a month and a half later, I called them again and said, I don't think it's high enough. They're like, come on, it's 94.5% now. I said, no, I don't think it's high enough. They're like, okay, why? I said, look, here's what we're seeing, here's the numbers, yada, yada. And they're like, okay, if you want to raise it again, we'll raise it again. Turnout was 96%. Now, the other thing is 96%. Think about that in your own area. Why? Oregonians are crazy. Okay? I'm just going to lay that out.
And they all vote in the mail, too.
So 100% vote by mail state. There is no such thing as a polling location. Just start wrapping your head around the changes this means. So I can show up and say, here's how we're going to do a race. Here's how we're going to win this campaign. Here's what we're going to do. But you know what? It was completely different. And I had to start talking to people there and figuring out why. Okay? So you'll often be told what turnout is going to be. It may or may not be right. So you need to think about that. You need to look at it. You need to understand what is the level of excitement or not in this campaign. The likelihood is you're going to think that people are more excited about the campaign than they really are. But start looking at it, realistically. Are you truly seeing a surge? Even last year, when I ran New Mexico last year, I kept going to folks in Chicago and saying, I think there's something wrong here. I'm not feeling like this is going to be right. I actually told them I thought their numbers were off. I went to them a couple of times and said, I'm really nervous because so many people were voting early that I couldn't figure out what we were going to do on election day. So I was really nervous. So I kept moving our numbers up. Now the reality is last year we just changed how people voted. They had the right numbers, but they just voted earlier than normal. But it's important to think about how are people voting, how many people are voting, what kind of numbers are you getting? Because expected vote, if you do not have a good expected vote, everything, all of your premises from there on out will be on shaky grounds. Okay? So this number is very important.